Most people believe reality changes when you want something badly enough, when you visualize long enough, when you think positively, when you finally get into the right mindset. But that's not how reality works. And it's not how the quantum field works either. Reality does not respond to desire. It responds after identity shifts, never before. And once you understand why, you'll stop trying to force change and start noticing why some people seem to move through life with effortless momentum, while others stay stuck repeating the same patterns, even when they're doing all the right things. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people never learn. Your brain is not reacting to the world. It is predicting it. Before you consciously notice anything, your brain has already decided what matters, what doesn't, what's possible for you, and what is not. This is not philosophy. This is neuroscience. Your brain constantly builds a model of reality based on past experience, emotional memory, and, most importantly, identity. Not who you want to be, who you believe you already are. That identity determines what you notice, what you ignore, what feels available, what feels out of reach, what feels safe, and what feels impossible. So when people say, "I keep visualizing but nothing changes," what they're really saying is, my identity hasn't moved, because identity always comes first. Before action, before opportunity, before timing, before results. You don't act on reality. You act on the version of reality your identity allows you to perceive. This is why two people can live in the same city, during the same economy, with the same tools, and have completely different lives. One sees opportunity everywhere. The other sees risk. One notices invitations. The other notices obstacles. One feels supported by life. The other feels constantly behind. Same world. Different identity filters. And here's where it gets interesting. From the outside, it looks like reality responds to some people more than others, as if the world opens up for them. But what actually changed was not the world. It was the internal prediction system that decides what the world is allowed to show you. Your identity tells your brain what to look for. If your identity expects struggle, your brain filters out ease. If your identity expects rejection, your brain overlooks connection. If your identity expects scarcity, your brain literally deletes abundance cues before you're even aware they existed. This is why change feels so frustrating. Not because you're lazy. Not because you're undisciplined. Not because you don't want it badly enough, but because your brain is loyal to the identity it believes keeps you safe. To the brain, certainty equals survival. And identity equals certainty. So when you try to change your life without changing identity, your nervous system interprets that as instability, unpredictability, risk. And the brain's job is not to help you evolve. It's to keep you alive. That's why people self-sabotage right before things improve. Why they hesitate when opportunities appear. Why they procrastinate without knowing why. Why they feel tired exactly when it's time to expand. It's not resistance to success. It's protection of identity. Now here's where the quantum field comes in. Without mysticism, without exaggeration. The quantum field, in scientific terms, is not a wish-granting force. It's a probability field, a space of potential outcomes. But probability does not collapse randomly. It collapses based on interaction, and your interaction with reality is not driven by intention. It's driven by perception, and perception is driven by identity. So when people say, the quantum field responded to me, what they're really describing is this. Their identity shifted first. Their perception reorganized. Their behavior subtly changed. Their timing improved. Their decisions aligned. Their nervous system relaxed. And then reality reorganized around them. Not because the universe rewarded them, but because their internal system stopped filtering out the very opportunities that were already there. The field didn't change. They did. This is why waiting for external confirmation before changing identity never works. You don't become confident after success. You experience success after confidence stabilizes. You don't feel safe after money arrives. Money arrives after safety becomes internal. You don't trust life after things work out. Things work out after trust becomes embodied. Identity always leads. Reality follows. From the outside, it looks like magic. From the inside, it's prediction updating. And this is the part most people miss. Identity is not a belief you repeat. It's a pattern your nervous system trusts. That's why affirmations fail. That's why surface-level mindset work collapses under stress. That's why people can know something intellectually and still live the opposite. The body hasn't caught up. The nervous system hasn't recalibrated. The brain is still predicting from an old model. So when you try to use the quantum field without changing identity, you're essentially asking reality to contradict the very signals your system is broadcasting. And reality doesn't respond to words. It responds to state, to posture, to timing, to attention, to what feels normal to you. This is why identity shifts often feel subtle at first. Nothing dramatic happens. No fireworks. No instant manifestations. But suddenly, you hesitate less. You notice different things. You respond differently. You stop overthinking moments you used to spiral in. You move when you would have waited. And then, weeks or months later, people say, "Wow, everything just clicked for you." But the click happened long before the result. It happened when your internal model changed. So if you've ever felt like life was almost there, like things were lining up but not quite landing, like you were doing the work but still missing momentum, this might be why. Not because you need more effort, but because your identity hasn't finished updating yet. And that update never comes from forcing outcomes. It comes from repetition, from small, consistent evidence, from letting the nervous system learn that a new version of you is safe. Once identity stabilizes, perception changes. Once perception changes, behavior changes. Once behavior changes, timing changes. Once timing changes, reality reorganizes. That's not manifestation. That's mechanics. And if this perspective resonates, stay here. Because once you understand how identity shapes perception, and how perception shapes the way the quantum field responds, you start seeing patterns you never noticed before. Not because reality changed overnight, but because you finally did. If this made you pause and rethink what you believe about reality, stay here. On this channel, we break down how identity, perception, the brain, and reality actually work. Without hype, without shortcuts, without spiritual fluff. So if this resonates with you, subscribe.